So we about to move this conversation right to Stephen A. Smith. And I just mentioned him as they were talking about Ryan Day in not so flattering ways after that Michigan loss, and then things turned around. Let's talk through this, because Stephen A. Smith is saying he feels like a fool for voting for Kamala Harris. I said it right, right?
Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Kamala K. Harris. Miss Harris again. Miss Harris. I don't mean any disrespect.
Vice President
I am
Harris
to most people, and I'm like, whatever. Like, so, just, yeah. So, when I hear that, I'm like, I wonder why. Like, that's a strong thing. One thing to say we lost. Another thing to say, oh, okay, I could see why we lost. But now I'm wondering why he said it in a way where he knew that would be a bold headline. I feel like a fool.
What was the quote again? Say this, the quote. What was the exact words?
He feels like a fool voting for Miss Harris.
But why did he say it though? Like,
that's my question. I know my answer.
But I don't understand. Like, why did he want to bring that to the public and bring it attention? Is I guess my whole thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did he say why? What?
Did y'all do any homework on this?
No homework.
All right.
No homework.
No
homework.
What are you thinking, John? Go take the lead. Look at John feeling bold right now.
Got a Trump question.
All right.
Come on in, Terry.
Hey, you see what you said, Trump? He said he put his hand up.
No.
Me. You know the kid in the back, call on me. Yeah, me, call on me. You got the answer, sir?
Me and John. What do you mean? Go get it.
Yeah.
Let's go. And me. Oh, yeah, we got 3 here.
One, I want to make sure he said that, because I know there was a headline on Fox News. They took it out of context. So Stephen A. Smith said, look, I know everyone does that. You got to have headlines. So one, I want to confirm that quote, because he said that it wasn't Kamala, my view, Kamala, he voted for because he went politically correct. His beliefs, and he started thinking around Trump's foundation and what he believed in is really what Stephen A. Smith believed in. But,
all right, let's not dance around this. Are we saying that Stephen A. Smith really agreed with Trump, but just because of the pressures, we know what those pressures are, he just said, I voted for Harris?
Because he didn't like Trump, right? And now it comes down to personalities.
Yeah.
Because he's conservative on a fiscal perspective. He's liberal on everything else. You do what you want. You want to be LGBTQ, fine. If you want to be whatever you want, that's okay. Abortion's that. It's your body. But on the fiscal side, that's where he's conservative. So it's tough. It's like, who do you go for? Are you going to go for Trump that really isn't as respected in what you think, and him coming out as a black man? Who is the public?
You bring color in this conversation.
Hey.
There's a color element to this. Hey, like first, let's just get that out there. Like, if you black, you vote Democrat or deal with the backlash, the headwind that comes from that, right?
You're gonna deal with it. Yes,
Yeah.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah,
First you see, then you hear, and you can feel and think whenever you want. So it's up to you.
It's weird because I tell you what I think when I hear this. I say, one, I don't know who you voted for. So for you to tell me who you voted for, and then to say, okay, that's fine too, but then you tell me you shouldn't have voted for him or you don't feel comfortable, then it makes me question, did you even vote for him in the first place? Like there's this master manipulation going on, I feel, of like, I'm gonna tell you who I voted for, that's what everyone assumed, and that's the way to go with the wind. And then I'm gonna say, now I'm regretting that because the winds have changed. And did they ever change? Because like you said, everything I heard from Stephen A. Smith, I'm like, he voted for Trump. He just don't want to say it. And then afterward, I heard the Harris part. And I'm not trying to put his vote in or out of there. I'm just saying, why do people feel such anxiety of telling you, or when you do say it, who gives a damn? Like, you got one vote, I got one vote. Like, we gonna have the same scoreboard no matter what. It's just, okay, mine may add up to where we win. But what does we win mean? I don't get a check if Trump wins. I don't get a check if Harris wins. Right. So I don't see.
Stephen A. might have some endorsements, knowing if he
you and this
he
money.
switch over to this. No, I'm being serious. You know, he switch over to the support Trump. Hey, some of them endorsements, you might see him on a couple
You
more
think
commercials.
I mean, I want to hear Terry. I
Hold
want to hear
on,
Terry say it.
before you go to that,
Okay.
because I want to, what you're saying is the Snoop scenario. You're saying Snoop could have voted Democrat, but still went to perform for Trump.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
no,
world
it's a Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
That's the
Bitcoin.
world where
It
that's
wasn't
the
even a
world we
Trump
should
event.
be living in.
Yeah.
He could have did that, but he went and did that. So what? Let it live.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Right. I say the world of do what you want to do, knowing that people are going to talk about you, but don't try and carve it in any form or fashion like I'm going to actually just conform to you. And in reality, either A, you're going to have an immediate regret, or two, you may not even be telling the truth about it. So that's where I take it. I'm like, we ain't been a month in. And already, like, what's been that much of a difference since what, January 20th to make me say that?
I think Stephen A. is going through a little buyer's remorse. And it's one of those things where we all, I mean, I'm not going to say we all, but people who voted Democrat stuck with the home team. But sometimes when you listen to Kamala talk, it was like, she's not answering any questions.
So why is she the home team? Why did you vote for her? And she been answering questions since
Yeah,
July.
Clark Atlanta.
Like that's my thing. It's like this ain't nothing new. So this whole July to November, y'all didn't listen, or you listen, or you looked at your color and said, "I must
It
do
was
what." they told me to
it was
do."
drafting the first round pick, saying I'm gonna always play the first round pick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's just I trust them. One day they're gonna drop 25. They never drop 25, and all of a sudden, they never drop. Like that's what you're saying. Like
You the
it never
first round.
happened.
Hey,
You're
you the first round
round
pick. You gonna if you number one pick, you gonna play.
Period. And that's
You know
what-
that.
But this is not the same because you're saying why? Hold on, guys. You're saying why we even make him a first round pick? Like, where's
Exactly.
her stats?
We didn't have anybody else.
The general
No, her
right.
stats was I'm black, you black, right?
First round pick.
Like that's what's so scary. I don't understand. You voted for her. I can hear it. Don't lie.
I did
And
vote
you got
for
Clark
it.
Atlanta on.
Yeah.
Nobody from Clark Atlanta voted for Trump, but go ahead. That I can almost prove.
You ain't never lied.
I don't think the hometown thing has to do with her just being black. It's just being a lifelong
Clinton.
Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get you.
that's the thing. But it's like their strategy this year, it felt they casted a wide net, and we're trying to pander to a lot of things that necessarily didn't fall, that I had to care about. And I think you got to respect the conservatives. They have a few talking points. They stick to it. That's what it is. Either you're gonna get down or lay down, and they don't care if you do it or not. And they have a more they're more bullheaded about their beliefs, where the Democrats try to just pander to everybody, and you spread yourself too thin, and nothing comes through. There's no decisive arguments or points that they are compassionate about enough to earn your vote. Yeah. The beliefs that you have are being catered to or listened to.
I love it,
So-
but that sounds like a revelation. And it can't be a revelation, or can it? In a week.
No.
It's been 1 week.
No.
But she had 6 months and y'all wasn't listening. And then 1 week, oh man, dang, man. Like dog, they been telling you them J's are at Foot Locker on sale for 6 months. And then you had the money.
Right.
And then you complain the week after they gone. I'm like, dog, why didn't you go up there for 6 months and cop them J's?
It's going to have to be a whole game plan change in 26 and 28
I
if
think
the
it's
Democrats
deeper-
would have any kind of inkling to win the next election.
I think it's deeper than I think it's deeper than like personality. I think it's deeper than policy. I think it's like this fear-based society has people shook. I go back to when I was a kid. I remember my best friend growing up before he got killed was a rock and roll skateboarder who converted to liking bikes, in part because that's what black kids do. Like the black kids don't ride skateboards. We certainly don't listen to rock and roll. And his dad used to listen to Van Halen and hit me to Van Halen. And then I remember, my personality is the same since I was little. Like, I'm not gangster. I'm not a punk. I'm just like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. And I'm not bothering you. And if you judge mine, I'm like, okay. And I just keep laughing and going on my way, right? So then they start clowning me. They're like, dog, why you listen to Van Halen? And I was like, might as well jump. Go ahead, jump. Like, I'm like, and then they don't like that. And I was like, have you heard Panama? Like, what is wrong with you? And they didn't mean the song. They didn't mean like Van Halen. They were like, you acting white, dog. And I was like, I am 9 years old or whatever it is. What you talking about? Like, I listen to Run DMC too, and I like Panama. And I swear we have now grown up to be older kids who are still getting pumped.
They have grown up to be.
Yeah. I'm trying to throw myself in there because I'm sure I got a blind spot somewhere, I hope. But I'm like, I just watched the whole movement that was trying to tell me them J's weren't on sale and I had the money. And now they acting like, oh, I couldn't have gotten them. And now I don't believe you. I'm like, I just don't understand. If you tell me your real pressures, because it couldn't have been a policy, it couldn't have been a personality, could it? Because he's still the same guy. If you didn't like Trump's personality then, why you like it now? He got the power again now. You know what I'm saying? So give it to me.
Yeah. Jump. Yeah. If a lot of what I see is the emotion that people have and who they're voting for, right? It's usually around a topic, something that is personal to you. And a lot of the times, those are the things that you're not going to be able to change, or the president's not going to change.
Like Harbaugh in Michigan, how you so personal for you.
Yeah.
You came in here so hot.
But I can't change. And I can't change that. So,
okay, you can't change it. I get it. Michigan.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it's personal. So anything that's personal is how you're going to look at the world and vote and do whatever and the candidate that you're looking for, right? With abortion and all those things, yeah, it's now to the states. Let the states do it. And I get it. Like, yeah, could the Supreme Court went one way or the other? Could it have been a different case? But just letting don't measure
these words. Get them out. This is
I
the
know,
wrong show.
I know.
You over here being way too careful for like it's okay. The water ain't that deep if you can swim.
Yeah.
And I think we all can swim.
And I think if we looked at who you're voting for as president and they can see it as who your leader is and who's representing you, they don't all have to be like me. We were talking about coaches before, right? Do you want a coach that's like you, or do you want a coach that's going to make you better overall, right? And give you different tools, make you think differently, make you do things different. So it's got a challenge. It's got to be in there listening, though. You can't be just hearing just only the voices you want to. You got to truly listen. If you're going to ask the question, hey, what do you think? You got to do something about it. And I think there's a little difference here in who we're seeing with some of the candidates.
Yeah, people scared, man. I know we got some more NARPS that want to come in here. Come on, Richie and
I ain't
Justin.
gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
No, listen, I'm listening.
With me not knowing politics, like going forward in the next election, I'm definitely gonna do a lot more research myself because, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not scared to admit I voted for Ms. Harris because she was African American.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit here and admit
it
and be honest. But talking to other people and seeing things now, I'm having a different perspective. But going into the next election, I'm definitely going to educate myself a lot more. And I wish I would have this one, but. You know, I can sit here and admit to my mistakes.
Well, is the 2028 election going to be the biggest thing in American history if Trump changes this whole thing where Trump and Obama can race against each other?
Oh, wow.
I think that would be the biggest thing ever.
Who, Michelle or Barack?
No, Barack. They're gonna if he's gonna try to pass the law.
Barack will beat Michelle right now?
No, Barack versus Trump.
Where do you get Michelle
for a third term?
First of all, everybody wants Michelle to run.
No.
I've heard Michelle should
Only
run.
Jennifer Aniston wants Michelle to run.
I mean, I don't know about y'all so stupid. I don't know about that.
Hatch, that would almost take an act of God.
Right.
You'd have to change the Constitution and the constitutional. Yeah, but that you know what the threshold for that is in the Congress and in the Senate. It's an ultra high thing that'll never happen.
Yeah, okay.
So stop
Yeah,
that.
yeah, let's not
Stop
get too
that.
much
And you
energy to
can't-
that, 'cause that's not
And
here.
here's the thing. How can Stephen A. compare Trump's presidency to Kamala Harris's presidency when Kamala Harris has never been president? Being vice president isn't like being president. I'm not Marcellus Wiley. That would be like me saying this is my show and I get to control the things that happen.
It is your show, though.
Well,
He talks more than me.
So,
But is he comparing that?
Well, if he has buyer's remorse, or if he's saying that he is sorry about what? You don't have anything to compare it to. You don't know.
I think he's trying to make the comparison of his expectation of what would happen if Trump won, and the realization of, wow, maybe I was hypnotized to what Harris was saying, because really now I look back, I didn't hear enough to even warrant my vote. If I'm, look, and I hate this guesswork, but it's like, now you look back at everything that was going on the Democratic side, and you're like, what the hell? And Trump is better than you expected.
Well, yeah, but is he? Because are you taking a list of what he said he was going to do? Because you walk into Ralph's, eggs are $9 a dozen.
Oh, in 1 week, that's good, because it was $11 before the election.
Well, no,
Go ahead.
Prices aren't going down. Gas hasn't gone down. Where
If she would have got in office, it'd be the same thing anyway. It doesn't.
Well, that's right.
That's nothing to do with nothing.
And DP, that's exactly what I'm saying. The president
You haven't said
can't
it yet. What do you
control that. The president can't
But let's
control
not-
the price of eggs.
Let's get a
the
high
president
level
can't control
thesis
the
out
price
there.
of gas.
Yeah, but
that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't like this attempt. Maybe I've been in broadcast too long. You're going so granular, and you're making these comparisons that, even if true, let him go.
Well,
No, let him go. Listen.
But see, you're the granular.
You're not listening. Let me
Marcellus,
get
you're the most
I
granular
guess it is,
person.
so.
Right?
I'm not
And
the most. No, I don't. I'm not going to
you. That's
entertain
what I
you right
love
now.
about you.
No, I don't love that.
You will take words. You said it yourself. I will dissect
Richie,
exactly
won't you let
what
the show
you
flow?
say.
That means like flea flicker. like let him go. We need to get, first we're addressing what Stephen A is saying or attempting to say because of his actions that fast. I want to get that out before I start saying, I don't know what the price of eggs are. And I don't care if people say, you out of touch. No, I'm not. Instacart knows. I just paid the damn bill. So you tell me high level what you think was happening here.
So here's what I think. The whole eggs, groceries thing, that's child's play.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a low
I hate when
level.
people
It's a
start
low
there,
level
like,
conversation that doesn't really have anything to do with it.
And let's say it respectfully. We know it's high because we all got to pay it.
Right.
So we're not saying I'm rich enough, I ain't tripping.
But when it comes to presidency, we're not really gonna factor eggs and groceries into that because it's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
I think with Stephen A, where he's coming from is more because, and whether you like it or not, the issue with Kamala, and she was kind of set up for failure because she got thrown in there in the last minute.
way late.
But Kamala, I apologize.
It got to be K.
Kamala.
You better say
I apologize.
K.
I know that's Richie's sister. He ain't playing. But the point is, I think where she lost a lot of people. One, she didn't entertain things that she should have. Like there was a lot of interviews that she chose to not do that would have helped her. And also, there's things. I think even on whether you're Democrat or Republican, I think the issue is people got tired of Democrats saying things that they were going to do, but don't actually do it. Okay. And I think where Trump wins in that situation is whether you agree with him or not. Everything he said he gonna do, he gonna do. We can see that in the first week already. So hold on.
You gotta hold on, dog.
Hold on.
Or you gonna be over there on the bench. Dog, you gotta. Did he play sports?
So like
you can't get the ball every play, dog. That's a sport.
Right.
Like you gotta wait for him to hit it back. And even in tennis, you gotta wait for the ball to come back.
I'm
You just swinging the ball over there, dog.
I let you say the stuff you said.
Yes,
even
we
though I didn't agree.
Remember,
I
we
let
have
you say
enough
it.
time to do it all.
Right.
Woosah.
But
breathe.
His whole thing coming in was a lot about immigration and the migrants and criminal migrants being here, Biden allowing them to be here and run them up. For his constituents, the people that are pushing for him to be in office, his biggest thing was, I'm cleaning all of that up as soon as I get in. Yeah. In the first week, whether you agree with it or not, he immediately came in and he's shipping everybody out. He's locking people up. Yeah. If you're a migrant here and you got a criminal record, he's immediately taking you out. So he's standing on business. Yeah. He's literally doing exactly what he said he's going to do. And I feel like, so someone like Stephen A, like if you're looking at that, it's right in front of you. Like I said, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. On the other side, it was kind of, you never really knew what her point was, or
What
what
the
her
business was gonna
Yeah, it
be
was
for
like,
you, huh?
I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna give you all these rap concerts, and I'm gonna give you, I'm do all the performances, a lot of tap dancing.
Ooh,
It's a lot-
Richie,
He
Richie
ready.
shaking
Yeah,
now.
I know, I see him.
Megan,
And
I'm
I
voting.
don't care
I'm
what
voting.
I don't care who you voted for. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you as much as you like Kamala, you ain't gonna tell me that they wasn't playing in your face. All these concerts and all that, it was about the performance more than about the policies, and that's a fact. It's not an opinion.
Justin, you're so wrong.
I'm so right.
And you're I love you to death.
It's mutual.
Now I got to cut you.
We are now I gotta cut you. You said that it's important to do what you say. He said day one, I'm gonna cut the price of eggs. He said that. I'm gonna bring the cost of gas down. I'm gonna bring the cost of groceries down. I'm gonna bring the interest rate down. I'm gonna do all of that on day one. That's what he said.
We're not having a hardball Michigan year
Yeah.
one combo.
That's what he said. So
But if
here's
it's
what I'm
already
saying.
started
Here-
and it happens in June,
Yeah,
you can do what you
Hatch,
said.
but here's what I'm saying. You can't use that argument against one person when the other person has done the same thing but has not delivered. Okay? So I'm not saying
Yeah, I get it.
Everybody makes campaign promises. People running for Congress
What
say,
he's
I'm going to
saying is
bring
she didn't
down
make the right
I'm going to
promises,
bring
though.
down
That's what he's saying.
violence in my neighborhood. No, you're not. Congress doesn't do that. And anybody I worked in the US Senate, I know what people do and what their capabilities are in their positions. Right?
Now map on what you're going to say next to Stephen A. Smith, who says basically he feels different, a fool from what he
Yeah,
a week ago.
and that's
And
why it's
listen.
that's why it's so befuddling, Marcellus.
No,
That's
no,
why-
no, not befuddling. I want you to explain in 1 week how someone can make that transition in their mind to now I feel regret over 1 week that you said Trump hasn't done anything.
I didn't say Trump hasn't
Well,
done
he hasn't
anything.
done what he said he promised to do, whatever
Right.
that level is.
I don't even understand.
Let me just say this before you go.
That's what I'm trying to get an
What
answer
he's
to.
asking you is, I guess, the direct of what we're talking about now. You skipped over the stuff I said he did do to talk about what he didn't do. You're not addressing what I actually said he did do to talk about groceries. The other stuff he said that he was going to do, he literally came in
Immigration
the
and
first week
everything,
and
yeah.
did it.
Okay. Now, y'all got to be careful now because I know what's happening here. We are not running the play Coach called. Coach is saying we got to run a dive. Yeah. I don't want you guys to we already voted. You're not changing anything.
Not changing
And we still going to the grocery store.
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith and others, and I'm using him just because it's a name we can rally around. It's not about him. It's about, wow. A lot of people are like, I got a little regret. I should have voted for him, etc. That's the noise. Can you explain that noise? And why would someone almost make a 180 in 1 week time when they had 6 months at least lead up of the opposite?
All we can do is theorize,
Yeah,
right?
that's what we're here for.
And my theory is that he feels like Trump is better for his personal concerns, his money, his corporation.
And it's about his personal.
It's
that
his
ain't got
personal.
nothing to do with us.
That's the only thing that
his
it can be.
endorsement-
But wasn't it that way
His
6 months
endorsement-
ago?
His
See,
endorsements,
so
he
there's
don't
no,
know. See, but
as
see,
my
but-
grandma said, you can't make sense out of nonsense. If 6 months ago, if it was for his personal concern, because he was rich then, he's rich now, whatever we're gonna say.
But he's about to be richer.
But rich is rich. That tax bracket ain't changing. Ain't another one higher. Yeah. So like, I sit here and let me say my direct thing is like, I know a lot of people because they know that I supported Donald Trump that were scared to say exactly what I said. And I said to them, all right, I'm never outing you. I got texts, I got emails, I got every letter and thing I can show to people what profile platform saying the opposite of what they say on shows. That's one of the funniest thing about me knowing in this business is I know people who will say one thing on air and then a completely different thing in group text, etc. But that's not my place to out you. But my thing is, why are you living like that? Why are you so scared? And then I think some of them, and I'm not putting on Stephen A. Smith, a week later be like, you know what? They right. And I'll be like, I don't know if we right or you've been wrong in telling everybody you was on the other side when you really weren't. That's what I'm feeling and smelling from a lot of people. Now where we go? Yeah.
He's the most popular person on sports TV.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, I always look at him with a side eye.
For his sports takes?
Well, as a human being, I look at people as human beings.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
And anybody who's only about their money, I look at it with the side eye. I really do. I look at humanity. I look at what's good for the whole. And anybody who is just in things for themselves, I think is part of the problem.
But isn't that the
But that's the
perspective
fault.
of everybody?
Yeah.
I look at you and I'm like, you're in it for yourself. You and your family is way more important than me and my family.
And I'll tell you.
If you're going to have an honest conversation.
Well,
you can sit there and
well,
lie
but
about it. Like,
that's-
no, I care about everybody. And that's not true. I don't think everybody cares about everybody.
Well, no, Hatch, there's certain things that are specific to you and your family, and there's certain things that are specific to the whole, right? Your great aunt needs her Medicare. She needs her Social Security. She needs the price of eggs to be $4 instead of $10, $9.99 or whatever it is, right? So if we thrive as a whole, we don't fight. We don't fight about these little things.
That will never happen the rest of this eternity that me and you are on this planet. We will all
Yeah.
never get along.
You did undermine capitalism.
Right. 'Cause I'm gonna say
My
this
bladder's
too.
off real quick, but
I think
you did undermine capitalism.
I think where the waters get
I don't know
muddy
where
in
you
there
at.
is like, yeah, the idea of us functioning as a whole is cool, but at the end of the day, your great aunt that you brought up, she has her own vote.
Right.
So at the end of the
She
day,
might not even agree with me.
everybody has to vote for themselves, what you specifically feel like will work in your favor. You're never gonna be able to vote for a whole society. Like, it's just unrealistic. And I'm gonna say Stephen A real quick. I don't even think that he really voted for Kamala because he had money from the get-go, and I feel like he always knew what he wanted to do, but playing into it, it was like the reaction you get, like if you black and you vote for Trump, everybody's side-eyeing you. That's just what it is. So I think he kind of just played into that. But now, because he's already there, he's just like, we're here now. Now I can openly speak about it.
I think you're probably right about that. I really do. And I do think you can vote for the whole. I do think that there's a humanity that has to be dealt with. And I think that if everybody is only on their own island, we are doomed.
We are
because
doomed.
Capitalism, this is not a black and white thing.
No,
this
it's
is,
a humanity
this is
thing.
class
Like, I
warfare.
get it, yeah.
This is class. It's almost always been class warfare, right?
So if it's been like that for 500 years, why do you think it's going to change?
Well,
And I love he said it was class warfare. I just jump in, double dutch. Because when you bring up class and respect to this country and its history and then slavery, and you try to explain slavery through class, like basically Africans were selling Africans and then they got connected to sell them to America, and then you talk about it as a class, not a race. They weren't looking for black people. Black people were the ones of the lower class that got taken. Slavery existed everywhere within its own boundaries intra. That means I sell you to you because you're a less powerful class. People get mad at that conversation, so we move on. And I'm glad you brought it up because right now, I respectfully think you're selfish because selfish and selfless have one thing in common, self. And if you're not, then I've not met that person and I would love to digest that fully. But it's okay to say at the end of the day, dog, my mortgage, I write it. It's okay at the end of the day, I'm writing these bills out. And we all are, as we're connected, interdependently, but don't trip. Independently, I gotta put my stuff in priority first. And I look at this conversation, it's so funny, I swear this conversation is this. This conversation is about Trump was beloved decades ago, whatever you want to say.
The apprentice years and all that stuff.
Yeah,
People
and
love
then
him.
he was hated. And then now, since he won, and Snoop and Nelly and a few others have kind of softened the blow or took the hits, now I see the next wave of people come about,
We love
"Man,
him.
you know what? I think about,
love
I
him.
regret.
Is it-
I'm a fool for voting the other way. I wasn't looking at it that way.
Is it that or is he watching what he's saying now?
No, he definitely ain't watching what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he always speaks how he speaks. I think he's that arrogant that he just like, I don't care about what anybody think. I'm gonna say what I say, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, he won the popular vote. So that tells you there's plenty of people that voted for him that's just acknowledging that they actually voted for him.
Yeah, depends on where you are. Some front yards in certain parts of the country, you got a Trump sign. Certain places, even if you voted for him, don't put that out there, right? Like, I get it. Not everyone promotes their vote, but if you are promoting your vote, it seems like it's not uniform. It seems like you are more inclined to promote a Democrat vote than a Republican vote.
And all I'm saying is that nothing has occurred in the month of January for him to have buyer's remorse on his vote.
That's why I'm
It's
bewildered.
not about what he said.
Absolutely
it's all a
nothing. There's
smokescreen.
nothing.
That's why I'm
nothing. So he either voted for him, like Justin said, or he didn't. And if he voted for him, maybe now he's trying to incur favor with the people and clean that stuff up. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Nothing tragic has happened because Kamala has not been president. So you don't know what she would have done in the first 100 days.
But I could guess. You
If
ever have a player, you ever see training camp and be like, I don't know how he's going to play in the season, but I could so guess.
If you notice, too, he's been doing a lot, and I think he's trying to transition out of sports a little bit. But if you notice, he's been doing a lot of political talk on different networks. He's been on Fox a lot. All of that. So I don't believe he actually voted for Kamala.
Me either. But
I think
let
it's,
him do
it's
him.
all for show.
Yeah. Because he just keep talking about Trump too much. It's always like
every chance he get.
It's like,
talk about
Man,
Trump.
Stephen A. trying to run for president.
I
Don't
think
y'all
so.
see it?
I really think so.
He's
He-
definitely
I
trying to
think
get a
he
seat
qualifies.
in
I guarantee.
politics
I think
or
he
Congress
qualifies.
somewhere in there.
All right, let's transition as Stephen A. is transitioning a little out of sports to politics. And I ain't mad at it. Look, Stephen A. will be a very interesting vote. I don't know who he'll go against, 2028 or 32, but Gavin Newsom out there and Stephen A. Like you can say what you want. I don't know policies yet, but boy, all it does is make me think one day I'm gonna jump in that thing. I mean,